Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you for today's Ishopanishad class. Let us begin with prayers. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Reading from the book Sri Ishopanishad, the knowledge that brings one nearer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, by His Divine Grace, Vishwaguru, Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Srila Prabhupada. Mantra 17. Vayur Anilam Amritam Athedam Bhasmantam Shariram. Om Krato Smara Kritam Smara Krato Smara Kritam Smara. Translation and purport by Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Let this temporary body be burnt to ashes, and let the air of life be merged with the totality of air. Now, O my Lord, please remember all my sacrifices, and because you are the ultimate beneficiary, please remember all that I have done for you. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. We will read from the part we left in the last session. The facilities of devotional service are denied the impersonalists because they are attached to the Brahmajyoti feature of the Lord. As suggested in the previous mantras, they cannot penetrate the Brahma Jyoti because they do not believe in the personality of Godhead. Their business is mostly word jugglery and mental speculation. Consequently, the impersonalists pursue a fruitless labor as confirmed in the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, verse 5. All the facilities suggested in this mantra can be easily obtained by constant contact with the personal feature of the Absolute Truth. Devotional service to the Lord consists essentially of nine transcendental activities. 1. Hearing about the Lord. 2. Glorifying the Lord. 3. Remembering the Lord. 4. Serving the lotus feet of the Lord. 5. Worshipping the Lord. 6. Offering prayers to the Lord. 7. Serving the Lord. 8. Enjoying friendly association with the Lord. And 9. Surrendering everything unto the Lord. These nine principles of devotional service, taken altogether or one by one, help a devotee remain constantly in touch with the Lord. In this way, at the end of life, it is easy for the devotee to remember the Lord. By adopting only one of these nine principles, the following renowned devotees of the Lord were able to achieve the highest perfection. 1. By hearing of the Lord, Maharaj Parikshit, the hero of Srimad Bhagavatam, attained the desired result. 2. Just by glorifying the Lord, Shukadev Goswami, the speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam, attained his perfection. 3. By praying to the Lord, Akrura attained the desired result. 4. By remembering the Lord, Prahalad Maharaj attained the desired result. 5. By worshipping the Lord, Prithu Maharaj attained perfection. 6. By serving the lotus feet of the Lord, The goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, attained perfection. 7. By rendering personal service to the Lord, Hanuman attained the desired result. 8. Through his friendship with the Lord, Arjuna attained the desired result. 9. By surrendering everything he had to the Lord, Maharaj Bali attained the desired result. Actually, the explanation of this mantra and of practically all the mantras of the Vedic hymns is summarized in the Vedanta Sutra and properly explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the mature fruit of the Vedic tree of wisdom. In Srimad Bhagavatam, this particular mantra is explained in the questions and answers between Maharaj Parikshit and Shukadev Goswami at the very beginning of their meeting. Hearing and chanting of the signs of God is the basic principle of devotional life. The complete Bhagavatam was heard by Maharaj Parikshit and chanted by Shukadev Goswami. Maharaj Parikshit inquired from Shukadev Goswami because Shukadeva was a greater spiritual master than any great yogi or transcendentalist of his time. Maharaj Parikshit's main question was, what is the duty of every man, specifically at the time of death? Shukadev Goswami answered, Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishvaro Harihi Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavyascha Bhayam. Everyone who desires to be free from all anxieties should always hear about, glorify, and remember the personality of Godhead, who is the supreme director of everything, the extinguisher of all difficulties, and the supersoul of all living entities. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1, Verse 5. So called human society is generally engaged at night in sleeping and having sex, and during the daytime in earning as much money as possible, or else in shopping for family maintenance. People have very little time to talk about the personality of Godhead or to inquire about Him. They have dismissed God's existence in so many ways, primarily by declaring Him to be impersonal, that is, without sense perception. But in the Vedic literature, whether the Upanishads, Vedanta Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, or Srimad Bhagavatam, it is declared that the Lord is a sentient being and is supreme over all other living entities. His glorious activities are identical with him. One should therefore not indulge in hearing and speaking of the rubbish activities of worldly politicians and so called big men in society, but should mold his life in such a way that he can engage in godly activities without wasting a second. Sri Ishopanishad directs us towards such godly activities. Unless one is accustomed to devotional practice, what will he remember at the time of death when the body is dislocated? And how can he pray to the Almighty Lord to remember his sacrifices? Sacrifice means denying the interest of the senses. One has to learn this art by employing the senses in the service of the Lord during one's lifetime. One can utilize the results of such practice at the time of death. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. So, we are discussing the mantra 17 of Sri Ishopanishad. And in this mantra, the devotee is praying to the Supreme Lord, let my body be burned to ashes, because my body is anyway temporary. And let the air of my life be merged with the totality of air. That means let my existence in this material world end. And at that time, when I'm going to quit my body, O Lord, please remember all my sacrifices, because you are the ultimate benefactor, beneficiary. You are the one who awards results of all one's activities and sacrifices. Therefore, kindly remember all my sacrifices, all my devotional activities that I have done for your pleasure. So, this is the prayer offered by the devotee. That means everything that we do during our lifetime is tested at the time of death. Death is the final examination. We may do so many devotional activities throughout our life, but the ultimate fruit of all that devotional activities will be achieved if we can remember the Lord at the time of death. Ante Narayana Smritihi. We have to remember the Supreme Lord, Narayana, Krishna, at the time of death. Then we have passed the examination of death. Death is often compared to examination. Why? Because we may, at the time, just like in the examination hall, we may get nervous and we may forget all that we have studied during our preparations. During our preparations, we might be confident that if this question is asked in the exam, I will definitely be able to answer it correctly. I have now mastered this formula. I know how to apply, how to solve this problem. So we may be confident during the preparation time. But in the exam time, in the exam hall, we may get nervous. And because of that nervousness and anxiety, we may forget what we have studied. The concept that we might have mastered, we will forget during the examination time. I'm sure all of us would have experienced this in our school days, in our college days. So, the exam is a very intimidating thing for many students, isn't it? So, not because they are not prepared, because of their mental situation during the exam, they may forget even the things that they have learned perfectly. Similarly, in the time of death also, we may have performed a lot of devotional service throughout our lifetime. We might have chanted, we might have heard about the Lord, we might have become fully absorbed in devotional service when our body and mind are in good condition. But at the time of death, which is a very intimidating situation, at the time of death, our body is not in proper order. Our body might be attacked by so many diseases. Our mind may not be sane because emotionally we might have become very disturbed because of our attachment to our family members. Oh, I'm leaving my family members and going. Oh, all my family members have come to see me in the hospital. I am, anytime I may die. They're all crying in front of me. Or a person may feel emotionally attached to his property. Oh, I have earned this property because of my hard work throughout my lifetime. Now I have to give up this property, this house which I have built by my sweat. I have to give up all these things. So these kind of thoughts cloud one's consciousness at the time of death. And there is a kind of fear, fear of uncertainty. What will happen after death? There is so much of emotional turmoil a person goes through, so much of physical pain that a person goes through at the time of death. So, what is the guarantee that in this situation, in this state of mind, we will be able to remember the Lord at the time of death? Ante Narayana Smritihi. How is it possible? It's not so easy. We need Krishna's mercy for that. We need the mercy of the spiritual master and Krishna at the time of death so that we can remember Krishna and successfully pass the examination of death. So, what should one do? Parikshit Maharaj's question was that, right? What should one do? What is the duty of every person who is about to die, who is on the verge of death? Now, who is on the verge of death? Practically everybody is on the verge of death. because death can happen anytime. So the only difference between our university examinations and the examination of death is that the university examinations were announced in advance. There was a timetable. Oh, this day, this paper will be there. You have to prepare and come. Much in advance, 1 month in advance, we would be notified. But unlike the university examinations, our final exam called the death is a surprise exam. It's a surprise test. It can come anytime without any prior notice. Then how much more seriously we should be preparing for this death, isn't it? For our university exams, we would prepare so seriously, even though we were informed in prior. But this death examination, we all know we have to surely face it one or the other day, but there is no prior information. It doesn't come with a notification. It can come anytime. Therefore, Maharaj Parikshit's question is very important. What is the duty of every man, and especially the duty of a person who is on the verge of death? Practically all of us are on the verge of death because death can come anytime. So, this is a very important question. And Shukadev Goswami replies to that. Tasmat Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishwaro Harihi Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavya Cha Ichchatam Abhayam. So Parikshit Shukadev Goswami is replying, Tasmat, therefore, Bharata, or descendant of Bharata, Parikshit Maharaj, Bhagavan Sarvatma, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sarvatma, who is the super soul in everyone's heart, Ishvaraha, who is the Supreme Controller, Harihi, who is known as Hari, who removes all the miserable things from the life of a devotee, who removes all inauspiciousness from the devotee. See, to refer to the Supreme Lord, four words are used in this single shloka. Sarvatma, he's called Sarvatma because he is the super soul in everybody's living in everybody's heart. He is Bhagavan because he's the supreme personality. He is Ishvara because he is the ultimate controller. And he is Hari because he is the one who removes inauspicious things from the life of his devotees. Harati iti Harihi, one who removes the inauspicious things. So the Lord Shukadev Goswami is saying, Tasmat Bharata, therefore, O descendant of Bharata, Parikshit Maharaj, Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavyaha Cha Ichchatam Abhayam. If you want Abhayam, if you want to be fearless about death, if you want to fearlessly face death, then when your body and mind are hale and healthy, you must hear about, you must chant about, and you must remember Bhagavan Ishwaro Harihi Sarvatma. You must remember, you must chant, you must absorb your mind every day in Lord Hari, in Krishna. If you want Abhayam, if you want fearlessness, if you want to get released from the fear of death, this is the solution given by Maharaj, by Shukadev Goswami. So that is why the great devotees always engage themselves in Navavida Bhakti, 9 activities, 9 habits of great devotees. We all know the 9 processes of bhakti: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. So, all these 9 activities are highly recommended for those who want to pass the final examination called death. Now, at the time of death, we may not be able to remember Krishna ourselves. I told we need Krishna's mercy for that. If we have to attract Krishna's mercy, then during our uh, lifetime, when our body and mind are in good order, they are functioning properly, we have to engage in this Navaveda Bhakti. And Prabhupada is giving example for each of these devotees, each process, right? Maharaj Parikshit, he attained perfection by Shravanam, by hearing about the Lord. Shukadev Goswami attained perfection by describing or glorifying the Lord. He spoke the Bhagavatam. And Prahalad Maharaj attained perfection by remembering the Lord constantly, even during adverse situations, when he was practically facing death because his father Hiranyakashipu had created various situations to kill him. In all those difficult situations, Prahalad Maharaj did not forget Krishna. So he is the epitome of the process of Smaranam, remembering the Lord, Smaranam. Pariksha, that is Prahalad Maharaj. And then, as far as Archanam is concerned, uh, this Archanam was perfected by Pruthu Maharaj, and Akrura perfected the process of Vandanam by constantly offering prayers to the Lord. And Pada Sevanam was perfected, exemplified by goddess Mahalakshmi. She is always massaging the lotus feet of the Lord. That is Pada Sevanam. And Dasyam, the highest service to the Lord, was rendered by Hanumanji, perfectly selfless service. And Arjuna perfected Sakhya, friendship with the Lord. And Bali Maharaj perfected the process of Atmanivedanam, complete surrender to the Lord. And Prabhupada mentions that a devotee should engage in all of these nine processes of devotional service, or few of them, or even one of them, if one absorbs himself nicely, properly in these activities of devotional service, then one is sure to attain perfection of life. One is sure to attract the mercy of the Lord. And at the time of death, by the Lord's mercy, one will be able to remember the Lord and quit his body. See, it is so important. So, Prabhupada is trying to prepare all of us to face that final examination called death and pass with high first class. So Prabhupada is very concerned that all of us have come to him, and Prabhupada says, if you follow what I am saying, I will take you back to Godhead. So this is Prabhupada's mission. Prabhupada's mission is to reclaim all the fallen conditioned souls in the Kali Yuga, to take them back to Godhead. So we have to simply cooperate with Srila Prabhupada by following his instructions, by being obedient to him. And Prabhupada has very much simplified how a devotee should lead his life. What should be his daily habits? Prabhupada has given very simple things. You rise early in the morning during the Brahma Muhurta, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, or during any other time of the day you can chant, but chant attentively, pronouncing each word of the mantra distinctly, hearing attentively. Prabhupada said attentive hearing is surrender to the Lord. How to surrender to the Lord? Attentively you chant and hear, that's all. You're surrendering to the Lord. But that you have to do with sincerity. And Prabhupada said you should hear Bhagavatam every day in the association of devotees. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And then Prabhupada said you follow the four regulative principles. Stay away from sinful activities. Right? Prabhupada said you serve the Lord according to your abilities and capacity. You serve the Lord. In this way, if you follow these simple things, and Prabhupada also stressed on reading his books. Read my books. In my books, I have explained everything that is required for you to attain perfection, Prabhupada said. So, in this way, by following these simple habits of devotional service every day, a devotee can attain perfection. See how easy it is. So we have to take up this process of Krishna consciousness very seriously because at the time of death, you will be alone, right? No one can help you. Each one of us, right? No one can help us. We come alone to this world. Mahabharata says we enter this world alone and we also exit this world alone. And in between, we become attached to so many people, so many relatives, so many uh, material items, material pursuits. But whatever we might have done throughout our life, At the time of death, surely we are going to be alone. Just like in our school and university exams, we have to face the paper alone. During the academic year, we might have made so many friends, but all those friends are not going to help us during the exam because they themselves have to give their own exams individually. See how this examination and death, our life, are so very good examples for us to think about, to become serious in Krishna consciousness. So every time you take out your japa beads to chant, we should think this may be the last mala I am chanting in my life. We should think like that and chant. It is a fact also. We don't know when death will come. As sure as death. The only surest thing in this material world is death. There is nothing more sure than death in this material world. Therefore, a devotee should practice Krishna consciousness in such a way that he should confidently be able to face death at any time. Let death come now. Yes, I am sure that I will remember Krishna and quit my body. That should be the mood. That should be the seriousness of our practice of Krishna consciousness. We should not very loosely, we should not very, in a very loose manner, casual manner, we should not chant. There should be a certain seriousness. There should be a certain uh, strictness in our process of chanting, in our process of devotional, in our execution of devotional service. Not casually. Okay, whatever possible I will do. Not like that. It has to be, there should be a certain intensity. Tivrena bhakti yogena. Bhagavatam says, Tivra. Tivra means intense. There should be a certain intensity in our in our practice of devotional service. And if that intensity is there, then it attracts the Lord's mercy. And by the Lord's mercy, we will be able to remember Him at the time of death. We should all know that remembering Krishna at the time of death is not in our hands. Definitely, it is not in our hands. For that, we need Krishna's mercy, and Krishna's mercy is available for a sincere, serious practitioner. Tivrena bhakti yogena. So, one point that Prabhupada mentions here in the end of the purport, I'll read that once again. So called human society is generally engaged at night in sleeping and having sex, and during the daytime in earning as much money as possible, or else in shopping for family maintenance. Kutumba Bharana, Bhagavatam says. The same thing Prabhupada is mentioning. So much a person's mind is absorbed in maintenance of his family, earning his livelihood, and sense gratification. People have very little time to talk about the personality of Godhead or to inquire about him. Actually, people are busy. If you ask any time, they'll say, I'm very busy. What are they busy? They are busy in their pursuits of sense gratification, in family maintenance. This is what they are busy. But they are not busy in the right thing. Bhagavatam is saying always you should remember, you should chant, you should hear about the Supreme Lord. But people are not taking interest in these activities. Instead, they are busy in so many other things. They have dismissed God's existence in so many ways, primarily by declaring him to be impersonal, that is, without sense perception. But in the Vedic literature, whether the Upanishads, Vedanta Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, or Srimad Bhagavatam, it is declared that the Lord is a sentient being and is supreme over all other living entities. So some people say God has no form, and in this way they have denied the existence of God. But actually, all the Vedic scriptures say God is a person. He's a lovable, loving person. His glorious activities are identical with him. One should therefore not indulge in hearing and speaking of the rubbish activities of worldly politicians and so-called big men in society, but should mold his life in such a way that he can engage in godly activities without wasting a second. Sri Ishopanishad directs us toward such godly activities. See, even A second we should not waste. Why? Because the sword of death is hanging on our neck. Anytime it can fall. That is the situation. Even a second, avyartha kalatvam, even a second, a devotee should not waste. He should be engaged in one or the other activities of devotional service, and one should not simply waste his life discussing about some great politician, some cinema star. What is the use of discussing all these things? These people will not protect us from the fear of death. Ultimately, it is the Lord only who can give us fearlessness, and only he can give us protection, and he can help us attain the highest perfection. Therefore, we should be engaging our time, so much of our time, in hearing about the Lord, or chanting his holy names, or remembering him, rendering service to him. This is the fruitful way of engaging our human form of life. So this is a very important lesson, very beautiful purport Prabhupada has given for the 17th shloka. We will be next in the last, we will be discussing the one last mantra of Ishopanishad. Mantra 18 is remaining. That is also a very beautiful uh, conclusion for the entire Ishopanishad. We will see that very beautiful purport Prabhupada has written. We will discuss that, read and discuss that in the next session. In a short while from now, we will be chanting the second part of the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We'll be reciting the shlokas. We have completed reciting the first part for 1 month. Now today we begin the recitation of the second half of the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Please stay tuned.